Hi everyone, welcome back to another Chris J Films video. Um, Actually this one has a little bit of a story behind it. Not much of a story, but a little bit of one. I was going through my comments just this morning, actually. Um, and I've been working on making new thumbnails and stuff for the old Baby Einstein videos. And I just so happened to be looking through the comments of those Baby Einstein videos, and there was one that said, "Can't wait for your top 28 Baby Einstein videos." Now, as most of you who have watched this channel know, when I first started out, I did Baby Einstein reviews for about 3 months, and then I stopped. And those reviews have more views than any other video on my channel combined. Like, I think my most popular video right now is Baby Van Gogh Part 1. I think we just hit 25,000 views on that. So I wanted to try out a little experiment anyways, to see if a Baby Einstein video would do better objectively than a Classics by Candlelight video, which I've been doing now every day for the past month after not doing it for a long time. And that was just poor planning on my part, but now I'm doing much better with it. So I just wanted to see if this would be any better or worse or whatever. So yeah, I thought we would just count down my top 28 Baby Einstein videos, do it pretty off the cuff. And since my last video where I ranked them, some of my rankings might have changed. I don't really remember, I haven't watched that video in a while. But if they do, and you're down in the comments saying, "Oh, that's not what you said last time," well, that's because ratings change. That's just the way it is. And I do want to say that after 18, number 18, it's actually pretty good. Like, nothing after 18 I would consider bad, but everything before 18, it's on the bad to okay spectrum. Everything after that is really good. So don't go down the comments screaming at me for not liking something that you like. This is my list, and I'll do it how I want to, damn it. So, let's begin. I want to start out with the worst Baby Einstein video ever. It's one that I made public that I hated a while ago, but I actually took it down because I went to the swear jar too many times, I guess. That would be Baby's First Moves. This one it's just terrible. It's so tedious to sit through. I mean, you start it up, and the whole thing is just, ugh. I mean, the first thing you see is the puppet show with, the octopus taking the elephant's photo, and that's fine, I guess. And then you get into the actual video, and it's just so slow, so tedious, so boring. And the stuff that isn't there is just stupid. It's just stupid. And I honestly think, based on some of the stuff in that video, and I've talked about this with a friend of mine, because we watched it together and we made like a rant video. I didn't actually put it up, but I wanted to really bad because there were a lot of points in there that I wanted to make. A lot of it seems like it would have been made by creep, like, honestly. A lot of the video in there just seems a little too weird, especially with the kids and stuff. Like, some of it's just weird. And I'm not really going to go into it because I don't want to think about it, but do keep in mind that it's pretty weird. The puppetry is not good. It's, they have these puppets with hands now. They stopped doing it after this video. I think it was after this video. I haven't watched a lot of these in a long time, but I think it was after this video that they stopped making them with the hands that like flop around, and I am very happy about that. The puppets work so much better when there was no hands. Anything else I can think of this? Over reliance on toys. That's something I'm going to mention a lot. In the later videos, there were too many toys. In the earlier videos, the toys were fine. They were a visual to the music. They were just visuals. Here, they seem to put more emphasis on the toys than on the music and the live-action scenes. And that's something that, like I said, it's going to come up a lot. So, let's move on to number 26 on my list, which would be Baby Da Vinci. God, I hate this one. First of all, the music. This is not traditional Baby Einstein music. I don't know who they got to do the music, but sure not Bill Weisbach, because this music is just not good. It doesn't sound anything like any of the other videos, and that makes me very mad, because the Baby Einstein music is some of the best music of this style that there is. I mean, I've listened to other baby videos, that are like clones of Baby Einstein, and their music is not good. This sounds like one of those knockoff videos. Back to the hands on the puppets, I think this was the first video to do that, so huge points off for that. It's just so tedious to sit through. Over-reliance on toys again. Just not good. I don't like it. I mean, I got this when I was a kid from the library, and I would sit through it, and by the end of it, I would just walk away feeling empty. I mean, these videos aren't supposed to, make you feel anything more than focus as a kid. Parents put these on for kids so they'll shut up for 30 minutes. But the problem is, even with the slowest Baby Einstein videos, I take away something. Even with Baby's first moves, I took away something. Here, I just didn't take anything away except boredom and dislike. I do not like this one. I would not recommend it to anyone, honestly. It's just not good. It's not good. Alright. The next couple I don't have many memories of, so I'm not going to talk as long about them. Number 25. Number 25. Baby's first sounds. My only real memory of this one was it's sort of annoying. They have that bee puppet, throughout the whole thing. And I don't like that bee puppet. That's really my only memory of it. All these other ones I have some sort of memory of, but that one, no memory. I don't have any memory of it. So that's why it's at that spot. At number 24, Discovering Shapes. It's a complete knockoff of one of their own videos, Baby Newton. And just for that reason, it's at the spot it's at. Because Baby Newton is higher up on this list, obviously. And if it wasn't for that song, it would be a lot higher up. So, Baby Newton is an all-around great video. And Discovering Shapes, no, it's not. It's not a good video at all. It's slow again, tedious again. Puppetry not good. And I just all around don't like it. But that's all I really have to say about that one. Up next at number 23, Lullaby Time. What's my relation to this one? I've never been able to stay awake for it. And that seems very stupid being 18 years old. But even on my last viewing, like last year, I fell asleep. So I guess this one is good if you want your kids to go to sleep fast. Because, from what I remember, it's pretty boring. Put me to sleep, so it must be pretty boring. That's all I have to say about that one. And number 22, Baby Wordsworth. I honestly don't remember this one too much, but I do just remember it being annoying. Honestly, they started doing this thing with a few other videos where they had someone come on and like sound out the words or something like that. I don't know, it's weird. I'm not really a fan of that, but yeah, it's just weird. So, never really watched this one as a kid. Probably wouldn't put it on now. At number 21, I would put world music. This is an interesting one because I'll talk about this later, but in my mind, this is the last Baby Einstein video. In fact, in my review, I did say this was the very last Baby Einstein video. But because of that, it's still up in the bad stuff, but this is the first one I would really consider to be okay. Baby Wordsworth is the rest of them are bad. This one is okay, along with the next couple before we get to 17. So yeah, this one is weird because they're trying to bring back the glory days or whatever, which I don't think should be a thing. The glory days happened for a reason. We shouldn't try to bring them back. But they did, and they ended up doing an alright job. It's hard to explain. You can watch my review of it. I'm gonna link the playlist anyway. But they redid, they didn't redo, but they did a song like they would have in the Baby Doolittle ones. And yeah, that's alright. I honestly don't have much to say about this one because I've only watched it like twice, and each time I watched it, it wasn't the best video I've ever seen. It didn't get better on the second time. The second time is the one where I made the review right after it, and I honestly don't know if I would watch it again. It was just too, well, I mean, these are baby videos, but that one just seemed too kiddish to me. But yeah, that's my thoughts on world music. You can check out my original review and maybe get something else out of it, I don't know. Number 20, Baby's Favorite Places. This was, I think it did precede Baby's First Moves, and by Baby's First Move standards, this one's a lot better, a lot more focus on puppets and such, but they also did that thing with the person coming on and sounding it out, and like I said, I don't like that, so that really hinders that one for me, and I just didn't watch it much as a kid. At number 19, Meet the Orchestra. It's fine, I guess. It's not really one of my favorites, I guess. What really draws me to it, I guess, is just the odd it's sort of an odd one. Like, it's the odd one out of all these because it actually has some real music, not just synthy music. It has like the real instruments, and none of these usually have real instruments in them, so it's a bit like that. But I have more memories of this one, so I can talk more about it. It has that over-reliance on toys again, and I just don't like that. It's not good. I don't like over-reliance on the toys in these. I mean, there's scenes where the toys are just like flat, going by the speed of snail pace. It's like, why would they put this on here? Put something more engaging for a kid. You know, because as a kid, I didn't want to be bored. And that's really the problem with all the ones that I've mentioned so far. A lot of them are just boring. So, yeah, that's really the big problem with this. It's not exactly boring, but it's not exactly engaging either. There are some cool parts about it, though. It does list off all of the, all of the different instruments and stuff, and a lot of them, you wouldn't even think of because, a viola. Most people see viola and think it's just a different type of violin, which it kind of is, but at the same time, it's a completely different thing. And they have a whole array of instruments in those, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, over reliance on toys. That's basically the big problem, and also green screens. A lot of these use green screens with the cartoons that were used in the books, but after the original team basically left, save for a few people, those illustrations weren't as good. They were kind of I don't really know how to describe it. They're okay, but they're a little too cartoony, which is weird because they were supposed to look cartoony originally, but I just don't know. It doesn't really look the best with the puppets. Anyway, number 18, My First Signs. Now, this is one that I had a lot of experience with because as a kid, my mom would teach me sign language, so we would get that one and learn sign language with it. Obviously, I can't remember anything, so that worked. But basically, that one did have a lot of good memories attached to it. I don't really remember too much about it, though. I remember it was like an otter puppet that was the main one in there. In all these videos, they seem to have like one main puppets that they use. In the Baby Doolittle ones, it's the monkey. In the Baby Lullaby, it's the sheep. There's always a main puppet, I guess. It's usually the one on the cover. Anyway, that's basically all I remember about Baby's First Signs. Now, I can tell you a lot more about the ones that we're about to look at now, because I actually remember them a lot. They're ones that meant a lot to me as a kid, and if you're anything like me, they probably meant a lot to you too. So let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into it. Number 17, On the Go. This one is a really good one. There are really good musical moments in it that I absolutely adore. There are some really great puppet scenes. The green screens are but there's no real over-reliance on toys in this, like there would be in some of the other ones, which I'm really, really happy about. This one came right after Baby Wordsworth and right before Meet the Orchestra, so they were still trying to get that niche in, I guess. The second half of the Baby Einstein videos always seems to be a little bit not as good as the first half. Well, really not as good, because half the ones on this list that I have mentioned already are in the second half of the ones they made. But what's really cool about it is it's not like those other ones. For whatever reason, that one, maybe it was just the director, I don't know, but that one really had a great, I don't want to call it story, because there's no story to these, but it did have, let's call it personality. It had a really good personality with the puppet shows. Like I said, the music was spectacular. They took from Beethoven and Mozart, and there was a Rossini in there from Barber of Seville. I can't remember who else I took from, but it's really, really good. I absolutely love On the Go. It's one of my favorite videos ever that they ever made. It's only at number 17 just because of a few small things. A little bit too much live action, which, I mean, I know it's, you know, trains, trucks, and automobiles and stuff, but it's just a little too much on the live action spectrum. The animation, you can call it animation, isn't that good. There are some really awesome parts of it where they have the characters using these cartoony looking objects, you know, that are obviously not supposed to be anything more than toys, but they kind of look good with the puppets. It's weird. I sort of flip-flop on this, but I'm, you know, with the puppet thing, but I really do like them. You know, they're honestly basically they're my favorite part of all of these besides the music. But yeah, that's about it for On the Go. Now at number 16. Number 16 is one that just about everybody loves, and I love it too. It's Baby Neptune. This one is a really good one. It's discovering the water, as you probably know. And there are some really great scenes in here. Music, again, spectacular. All the music from here on out is really, really good. So there's not really any reason to keep mentioning it, except just to praise it. I call the music in these classical techno. I don't know if that's really the right word, but that kind of seems like what it would be to me. Baby Neptune is especially good because of the water elements. They did a really good job of filming water in this. Actually, at the beginning, if you didn't know, it's on for about 2 seconds. You can see the Epcot logo in the back, so they were probably filming during one of their nighttime shows, which is really cool to me as a big Disney World fan. So that's just another reason to watch 2 seconds of Epcot. This one's on my top 10 list. Anyway, yeah, puppet work in this is really good. I think this is one of the first times they had like kids on the green screen background, which is pretty cool. And it actually looks alright. Like I said before, the green screen backgrounds that they did later on were sort of not good because they look too cartoony. These look just cartoony enough to work, and that's really cool. So yeah, love Baby Neptune. It's a great video. I recommend it to anyone that has a love of the water, because there are some really great water shots in this. Alright, so we're going to move on now to number 15, one that I think is a little bit underrated, actually. And that would be Baby Galileo Discovering the Sky. This is a really good one. I really love the space imagery that they have at the end. I mean, it's actually not even that much space imagery, but the space imagery they do have is really pretty. One of my favorite elements of this one is they brought in like that crayon design for each of the things they, show. So like they have something being drawn out over the music, and that's pretty cool. Puppet shows are really good. The kangaroo puppet that they made is really cool because there's like the little one that fits inside the pouch, and then they made a completely different one for the one that walks around and such, and that's really cool to me that they can just do that. I mean these puppets are really simple, but it's still pretty cool to see that. What else? I can't really think of anything bad about this one. Like I said, all these are good, but yeah, I can't really think of anything that bad. They do have a really cool Galileo Galilei quote at the beginning of the video. All truths are easy to understand once they have been discovered. Point is to discover them, Galileo Galilei. And that's actually something that I've thought a lot about as I've gotten older. And like, it's true. Because just for example, who would have ever thought that atoms could be split? No one. And then Albert Einstein comes along and says, "Oh, well, how about I just do it?" And it did give us a very deadly weapon, but nuclear energy can probably save the world. So all truths are easy to understand once they are discovered. Point is to discover them. So that's a really cool part about this one. Anything else? Can't really think of anything else off the top of my head, but I would definitely watch this one again if you want to just sit back for 30 minutes, look at some cool imagery, see some nice puppet shows, and just have a good time. So that's Baby Galileo. At number 14, we have Baby McDonald, Day at the Farm. Why is this one so low on the list? Too much live action. But that's... And when I say live action, I don't mean like landscape live action, that's fine. It's just the people in the live action. That's what gets me. But otherwise, this is a perfectly serviceable Baby Einstein video, and I absolutely love it. Puppets, awesome. Music, amazing. If you go back to, I think it's like my second video on this channel that's publicized, it's Meet Cow, and that has one of the songs from this one, Happy Farmer. That was a long time ago, man. I feel like I'm getting old now. So basically, this one kind of has a story. I think I said that in my review of this so long ago, but it really doesn't. It's just a day on the farm from beginning to end, basically. If you want to see one with more of a story, actually look at the deleted scenes, or puppet shows as they call them, on the DVD version of this. And you can see that they did a better job there of telling a story than they did in any of these other ones. It's just a little tidbit. And I actually have it up on this channel if you want to go check it out. So yeah, I really do like the landscape work that they have in this one. Such as, the fields and the farm animal section. And at the end, they have some really nice stuff. And I really like that, It's sort of sounding repetitive here, but I really do like all that at the end. And it's really pretty, actually. A lot of it. Anyway. So that's Baby McDonald. Now, for number 13, this one I have a love-hate relationship with, because once I say this, you're going to know which one I'm talking about if you're a fan of these videos. The original had a song at the beginning that was absolutely fantastic. It was actually a parody of Diggin' on James Brown, which is a great song in its own right. And this song is really good too. It's a real groovy beat, and it's just really good. But then for other releases of this, they just said, "Oh, we're going to replace it with this stupid country song," and that's at the point. That's the point where I'm like, no. I actually boycotted this one for a while. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Baby Newton up on screen. Yeah, the original I Know My Shapes is a lot better, as you probably know. The new one is not good. And what's so stupid about that is the rest of the video is completely great. The rest of the video I love. But just that beginning song and the end song, if you're watching the version with the country in it, I hate it. But the rest of it is good. The rest of it is really good. One thing they did here that I was actually scared of when I was a little kid was CGI, like those CGI crayons on the CGI clown. They did this, just something new, and it scared me. Oh, it scared me when I was a kid. Excuse me. If I was making that list when I was a lot younger, this would probably be at the place Baby Da Vinci was, because I just didn't watch it for that reason. Then the song, I didn't watch it for that reason for a long time. It took me a long time to warm up to this one. But now that I have, it's so much better than you remember. They talk about basic shapes, circle, square, triangle, oval, rectangle. I think that's all they talk about. Yeah, that's all they talk about. I know there was a video game where they talked about like star and heart. I saw a whole video on that. It was only like 20 minutes. Why would anyone buy a Baby Einstein video game? It's just weird. Anyway, so yeah, this one, if you don't count that song at the beginning, this one would be a lot higher, but because I have that love-hate relationship, it's down at the number 14 spot. Or, excuse me, number 13 spot. But that's all I really have to say about that one. I do recommend it. You just have to watch the original version, which, if you go online and look up, I Know My Shapes, Baby Newton, you can probably find the original pretty quickly. And that's usually what I do. I just watch the original song and then play the rest of the video. That was a weird rant. Anyway, let's go back to number 12, which is Baby Noah. Baby Noah is basically a unnamed sequel to the Neighborhood Animals and World Animals. Which is strange, because I don't think they really needed a sequel, but it does a lot better as a unnamed sequel than one would think. It's more jungle animals this time. They have animals on the savannah, animals in the jungle, rainforest, and tropics under the sea, and in the polar regions. That's the ones that they have. I don't think I'm forgetting any. So they have all those different ones, and it's kind of cool because they have puppets in there that they don't usually have, like penguins, and then they use penguins more after this video, but this was the first one I think where they had penguins, which is kind of cool. And they had flamingos and elephants and all that. This one was a really fun one for me when I was a kid, because I had a Noah's Ark playset that I used to recreate this video with. Because I had all the wrecked animals to do all the things with. So that was really cool for me because I got to do it a little bit hands-on. But yeah, this one's a really fun one. Great music, great puppetry, great narration as well. One thing they do in a lot of these is they have, the first one where the creator, Julie Aigner-Clark, she reads off all of the animals or whatever you're supposed to be learning about in these, and then they do the segment, and then the kid reads it off or something like that. And that's kind of cool. And that's something I think was started around the time of this video. Let's move on to number 11, which is the very first Baby Einstein video ever made. It's Language Nursery. Why is this one low? It's boring. But just because it's boring doesn't mean there aren't good elements to it. It has a lot of great poems in different languages. One of them I really like. It was turned into a song by Mozart's, actually, and it was on the Classics by Candlelight series a few weeks ago, and yeah, I really like that one. But there's more than that. There's some really nice relaxing imagery, a few English poems actually, and it's also just a testament to how far it came, being the very first. Obviously there were kinks that they had to work out, which they did in other videos, which went really well, but this one was the first, and it should be commended for the first. So yeah, Language Nursery at number 11. At number 10, now we're going into the top 10s. All of these I consider some of the best forms of children's media ever. So if you're a newcomer to Baby Einstein, then I would definitely watch the ones I'm going to mention, right now in the top 10 first, before you watch anything else. So let's get into the top 10. I'm going to grab a glass of water. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So let's go into the top 10s. At number 10, Numbers Nursery. This is one that helped me actually learn numbers when I was very small, and I'm sure it helped a lot of other kids learn numbers too, because I didn't watch a lot of Sesame Street, so I learned numbers through, Baby Einstein, then just worked my way up from there in preschool. But this was like my first real introduction to it. So Numbers Nursery, really great music. A lot of Strauss in this one. A lot of Haydn as well. Another thing I like is the puppetry. The backgrounds actually do look good on this one. They go through each number, and do it in detail. I have COVID. Anyway, so they go through each number in detail, and one thing that's really cool that they do at the beginning of each number is they have toys. They put down 5 apples, 5 cups, 5 ducks. I think that's how it goes. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for each. It's pretty structured the way they have it laid out. So each number has a section where they are brought in on like a train. Then they go into a puppet show explaining a number. Then they do the sectionals that are in every Baby Einstein video. It's like a trademark. Then they go into either another puppet show or a live action. In fact, I think it's both in most of them. And then they have a ladybug showing the number one more time, and then they do the whole thing over again until they get to 5. And then they have some other puppet shows thrown in there as well. And I really do like that dynamic that they have in there. It structured it out really well, so there's no wondering when the next number is going to come in. You basically know after you get past 1 what it's going to be like. So yeah, it's a really good one. Helped a lot of people that, I'm sure it helped a lot of people learn numbers. It helped me learn numbers. There are these studies that say that Baby Einstein didn't teach anyone anything, and it wasn't scientific. but this one actually did teach me something, and a lot of these coming up did teach me something. So I don't know if I'm just an exception or if studies are, good, and because of these videos I'm stupid now. I really hope that's not the case. But Numbers Nursery really did help me, and I think it's if you watch it, it will help your kids too. Now let's move on to the number 9 slot. Number 9 is one of the best ones ever. It's Neighborhood Animals. Now, this was the first one in the Baby Doolittle series. There were 2 of them. We'll talk about the other one in a little bit here. But this one's really good. It did have a farm section, which Baby McDonald did a real better job explaining the animals on a farm than this one did. Plus, just a better version of Old MacDonald in that one. But this one did have some really good stuff too. It had, it had insects. It had water animals, not as many as Baby Noah did, but it had some water animals that would live, in a pond down the street. They had outdoor animals. They had indoor animals. They did a lot of things that not many of them had done. Some very nice puppet shows. Music, spectacular again. Obviously, these are just reworks of old classical music songs, but they work really well for what they are. Again, the puppetry. This was about the height of Baby Einstein puppetry when, 1 or 2 people were doing it by themselves. They didn't have like a whole team doing it. So it felt a lot more authentic and a lot more fun. But yeah, that's Neighborhood Animals, one of the best ones. And I'm really happy that they made it. Alright, let's move on to one of my... Well, obviously it's one of my favorites, but this one is just one of the best ones in general, even if it wasn't one of my favorites. And actually, interestingly enough, it's what inspired me to start Classic by Candlelight. I was rewatching the review for this one, and I thought to myself, I think I want to listen to this guy's music just by a candle, and just like sit there and sort of relax for a little bit. So I did that for a few days, and then I said, you know what, I should record this. And I did, and now on Wednesday we're going to be at 260 episodes. So that's really a testament to this video. So it's one of my favorites for that reason. Baby Beethoven. I love Baby Beethoven. They have highlights from 5 symphonies, I think. And each of the symphonies they choose is absolutely wonderful. They have the 3rd movement of the 1st symphony. They had the 4th movement of the 3rd symphony. They had the 1st movement of the 5th symphony. They had the 3rd movement of the 6th symphony, and the 4th movement of the 9th symphony. And then they also had Fur Elise, Wellington's Victory. They threw some other ones in there. Really, really fun. I love Beethoven in general, and Baby Beethoven is really what introduced me to him in the first place. And I'm so very happy for that, because Baby Beethoven and Beethoven in general is just wonderful music. I love it, love it, love it. The puppeteering, it's spectacular. Live action bits, they're fine. Nothing to really be ashamed of, but if I was making it, I wouldn't put it in there, but I didn't make it, so I shouldn't be complaining. It's just wonderful. I love this one, and I'm sure you probably love it too if you've watched it, you've seen it, because I can't put into words how much I love this one. It's just amazing. Go watch it if you haven't already. Yeah, it's wonderful. Alright, so at the number 7 spot, this one has a specific place in my heart, not because it's a Baby Einstein, not because it has the best music or anything, but it's because it's about one of the best things that could ever happen to me in the year Christmas. You probably know what I'm talking about just by that sentence. It's Baby Santa's Music Box. I love, love, love Baby Santa's Music Box. So many Christmas classics in here put into the Baby Einstein style. I love that. The puppeteering is great. The music is great, obviously. Everything about this one is just spectacular. One of the cool parts is, the reindeer puppet pops out of the box. He does his thing, the music plays. And then Santa pushes down on him and it just stops like a music box. I mean, it's a small touch that no one else but me would look at and say, oh, that's cool. But it's cool. I like it. A lot of other great puppet shows in this. A lot of great Christmas imagery with all the decorations and such. This is one time where over-reliance on toys is actually a good thing, because they don't show very many toys in here. It's Christmas ornaments, and I love that. They also had a few really cool parts. One part's really awesome. They're building a gingerbread house, but it's all stop motion, so you can see the gingerbread house just being built, and it's all quick, and it just looks cool. Look that scene up if you haven't seen it. There's some other really cool parts about it I absolutely love. Like I said, the music. I just love this video. It's amazing. Go check it out if you haven't already. It's wonderful. Alright, so that's Baby Santa's Music Box. Okay, so at the number 6 spot, this is the second Baby Einstein video ever made. You probably know what it is, but I'll say it anyway. Baby Mozart. Baby Mozart is a wonderful, wonderful video. Unlike Language Nursery, where I said that's kind of boring, this one is not boring. It's really beautiful music. Some of the best music that Mozart ever wrote. One of the things I love about this one is, the toys that they do use. Back then, over-reliance on toys wasn't really that much of a problem. I mean, if it was made later on after, the puppets had been established, then I would say that one is just terrible because there's so many toys in it. But because A, it was the second one, and B, the puppets haven't been established yet, what are they supposed to do? Not use the toys? I mean, there are some puppets, but they aren't the majority. And the times they do come out, the puppet shows aren't amazing, but you do get some of the best puppet shows. Not all of them, but some of the best ones. Like the Dolphin Puppet Show to the Magic Flute, that one's amazing on Baby Einstein standards. And then, of course, the introduction of Bard in this one as well, where he's doing his sticking out the tongue and all that. That one's wonderful. That's been referenced a lot of times in the Baby Einstein community. It's one of my favorites. In fact, I did a whole rant video on this. It's not a whole rant video, but it's 9 parts of the whole thing, just watching the whole thing and talking. Got a sore throat that day, and I'm getting a sore throat today too. So yeah, Baby Mozart, one of the best ones ever, and I'm really happy that they made this one. So let's move on to number 5, and the top 5. I mentioned at the top 10 that those are some of my best children's media. Top 5 is definitely the best children's media that you could watch, and I just love these ones. These 5 are probably the ones that, if I ever do have kids, I'm going to show them first, because I think they're the ones that I was shown first, and because of that, they're just spectacular. So, enough of me rambling on about things you don't care about. Let's move on to number 5, which is World Animals. I like this one a little bit better than neighborhood animals only because of the section in the middle where they have the swimming in the deep blue sea section, and that one's a really fun song. It's really catchy, you know. Hey, we're having fun swimming in the deep blue sea. I can't sing right now because my voice hurts. Yeah, that one's really fun. But they also have a lot of other attributes that I really like about it too. They have the singing. I just mentioned that. They have puppetry. I really like the puppetry in this one. At the beginning, you know, it just starts out like, whoa, we're going right into this, aren't we? And yes, indeed, we are. They use the bartered bride in this one right away too. That one's really fun. That's a really fun piece. And then, you know, they have animals on the savannah, animals in the water, animals in the jungle, animals in my world. That one's a really fun one. That's the finale. So yeah, you go through that. And Jane, the monkey, that's our main protagonist in this. If you can call it a protagonist, really. But basically the one puppet that's marketed on the front of the box and is in the whole thing. Just like Pablo the dog is in World Animals. But Jane the monkey is a really cute puppet. You know, all these puppets are cute, but I really like Jane out of all of them. Probably the best out of the ones I've mentioned so far. But yeah, World Animals is a really fun one. I would show it to any kid who ever likes animals. You know, and not just ones that they can see down the street. So, number 4. This is the third video ever made. It's Baby Bach. Baby Bach is one of the ones that if it was made after, you know, after everything was established, I would call it tedious and boring and, you know, not fun to watch. But because it is, you know, one of the first ones ever, and like I said, they didn't have the puppet standard that they do now, I honestly think it's one of the best ones. The music is some of the best that this series has ever put out. One of the best parts about it is the Xylon Dragon. Something that scared a lot of kids, but it's a really fun little scene just at the beginning, and I don't think it really hinders anything in it. It's just a fun little scene. I really like that. What else about it? Sorry, I keep going. I'm not. I haven't talked on camera for so long. I've only talked on camera like twice on here since I don't know when. I haven't been on camera a lot lately, so it's a little strange being back on here. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say with Baby Bach. I think I mentioned the music already, just spectacular. And I would have more to say, but there's just not that much in it to say. So I suppose that's all I have to say about Baby Bach. Top 3 now. Number 3, Baby Monet. I love this one so much for mainly one reason. I love the seasons. I love the 4 seasons by Vivaldi, and they have reorchestrations of almost all of them. Well, they have reorchestrations of all of them, but almost every single one from that in here. I think there are some missing, but they did some in other albums, so that's pretty cool. But the 4 seasons, you know, it's all almost in here, and I really like that. Puppetry, I really like. One thing that I've always wanted to get is all the puppets from that video, so I could have, you know, the purple one, the spring one, summer one, fall one and winter one, and then the black and white one, obviously. Those are pretty rare from what I've seen. I think they were made specifically for that, so you would probably have to pay a lot of money because I haven't seen them on any sites anywhere except Pinterest. But yeah, it's a really, really fun one. And at the end, they have this jazz scene. It's like, I think it's jazz. Yeah, it's sort of a mix of jazz and swing. And it's like where all the puppets are dancing to it. And it's a really fun scene, a really groovy song. I would honestly just listen to that one unironically anytime. Past that, there's a lot of great puppetry in here that I've already mentioned. I keep repeating myself because this isn't scripted, as you can probably tell. So yeah, Baby Monet. I love Baby Monet. Check it out if you haven't already. It's wonderful. Number 2, Baby Van Gogh. This one, oh my god, I absolutely adore Baby Van Gogh. I don't know anyone who watches Baby Einstein like on a regular basis that doesn't like Baby Van Gogh. It's almost impossible not to like Baby Van Gogh. It's just so fun. All the colors and all the music and all the puppets and all the poems. It's just so awesome. I love it. All the poems in this, incidentally, were written by Julie Aigner-Clark and read by her in the video. So you're seeing, like, a real craftsmanship there. I just love this one so much. I love it so much. I'm probably going to, well, no, I'm not going to, but, yeah, I just love this so much. I watch it a lot. Actually, this is the 20th anniversary of this video, so happy 20th anniversary to Baby Van Gogh, and good job on making it to the number 2 spot. But there is one more that should not be forgotten, and it made it to number 1, and it's wonderful and amazing. You probably know what it is already, but first, before we get to that, if you don't know what it is, I want to give a surprise. I have to give one honorable mention. So our honorable mention today is World Animal Adventure. I do not consider this one a official Baby Einstein release, and I'll tell you why. Almost none of the original people came back to do it. It was done in that bleak era where Kids 2 was getting deals to make more videos and buy the brand, which they never did make any more videos. They now have some sort of stupid YouTube series. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I watched one of the episodes, and it's just, ugh. It's worse than Baby's First Moves. That's why I didn't mention it. And then third, it's not. So that's why I don't consider that one, part of the Baby Einstein lineup. But I thought I would just mention it because, it's Baby Einstein. It had the Baby Einstein name on it or whatever. So that's why. But now let's move on to number 1. And at the number 1 spot, my number 1 favorite Baby Einstein video of all time, Baby Shakespeare. There are so many good things about this video that I can list off. So I'm just going to count them off on my fingers so I get everything in that I want to get in. First, we're going to start out where we usually start out, the music. The music is just wonderful. I love the music. It's all Beethoven. In fact, the Baby Beethoven album is half Baby Shakespeare music, which is kind of cool. Next is the puppeteering. The puppeteering in this is really, really good. There are so many fun puppet shows in this. I just love it. Third would be the poems. Poems are one of my favorite forms of literature and writing, and because of that, you know, this one has some of the greatest poets in there, like Wordsworth and obviously Shakespeare, a few others. I love the poems in this. Let's see. I really do like the uh, sectionals in this. Sectionals are really fun. And what's cool is they found a poem for each of the things they talk about. And it did teach me about all these things in a way because I got to see visuals in my head to accommodate what I was thinking about. And you know, toys. I like the toys in this. Toys are really fun. There's one scene where it's like the train going around the track, and they were able to. I don't know how they did it. I think they stopped the camera at the train exactly at the right second. But they had a thing where the train would go around. There would be a toy, and then like no toys, and 3 toys or whatever, and it's really cool. Just so many things about this one I love. In fact, my only grievance with this is that you can't find clips of it on YouTube because Kids 2 took them down, which really sucks. But yeah, Baby Shakespeare is my #1 Baby Einstein video ever. Go check it out if you haven't already. It's a great one for kids, great one for parents as well. Honestly, like I still put this one on sometimes and just watch it. And I'm 18 years old. And with that, now that we're done with it, I do want to go to that point. I'm 18 now. Which means it's time to grow up. It's time to let this stuff go until maybe someday I have kids. I don't know if I will, but someday I might. And if I do have kids, do I want them looking at this thinking, my dad watched Baby Einstein when he was 18 years old? I've been called a creep for doing these at the age that I am. People have told me that I just need to let it go, which I do. I held on to it for as long as I did because it was my last semblance of childhood. It was really my last leg. You know, the thought that, oh, I might do another one of these videos someday. But now I am 18. There's no excuse for an 18-year-old to be sitting here doing these videos. And that's really the reason I did this one today. As a step forward from this. It's tying up loose ends, because I never reviewed a lot of the ones that I reviewed today. And when I was doing them, I said, I'm going to review every single one. But I didn't. And I sat on that for years. So that's one loose end. Another loose end is all the comments that I've gotten on these videos with people saying, what were your thoughts on this one? Or, you know, what'd you think of this? And I just never really responded or thought about it because I said, oh, I'm doing classics by Candlelight now, but someday I'll go back. And also, side note in the comments, don't ask me where to get puppets because I honestly have no idea. I just want to throw that one out there. Anyway. Another loose end is just tying it up with myself, you know, saying, okay, now that's finally finished. What I've done is over. I can move on and keep doing Classics by Candlelight and actually do something else if I want to. There are so many factors in this, and this is a bit of closure for me at last. Going through all 27 of these plus one in the honorable mention spot really just gave me a sense of finishing. I'm the type of person that when I start something like this, I don't want to quit. I did quit. I've quit a lot of things in my life. Mostly, when I did that, I did it because I didn't like it at the start. I knew I wasn't going to like it at the end either. This is something that I liked from the start, but I just stopped doing. I could have said I was done, because I reviewed world music, and that was it. But today I just said, screw it. We're going to re-review some of the ones that we already reviewed. We're going to take a look at the ones that we didn't. And this video is long. It's a very long video. But at the same time, I feel like I had a reason to make it. So, with that, for anyone who's wondering if this is going to be the last video of this type, yes, this is. This is just a one-off. It's not going to be the start of a new series or something. Classics by Candlelight is where I'm at now. And I'm going to stay there. I also have some other projects that I'm working on. But this cloud was just hanging over me. I wanted to get rid of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to finish those other projects. So, with that, I want to thank everyone who's watched one of these videos and commented on them, given them the likes and views that they have got. I'm very grateful. But this is the end of it. And I think at the beginning I mentioned I want to experiment, see which one gets more views. And even if this one did get more views in a week than a Classics by Candlelight gets in a month, I'm not going back to this. This is final one. So, with that, I say sayonara, Baby Einstein. I'm not saying goodbye to it completely. Sometime I might put on a video and just do something else in the background. But I'm not going to sit down and look at it critically, because honestly, Baby Einstein is for babies. There are some great people in this community. The music of Baby Einstein is actually one of my favorite channels, putting up things like the Baby Einstein Megamix. That's one of the best Baby Einstein fan videos I've ever seen. But for me personally, I just can't think of doing all that again. Making reviews. That honestly cost me about the most I've ever spent on a video. Because I bought 2 copies of this, and then I bought the World Music DVD, and I bought another Baby Mozart DVD, and then I bought like 3 or 4 books for this. So that was a lot of money just for these reviews. And obviously it paid off in view counts, but I'm not able to get monetized yet, mostly because of Classics by Candlelight with all the copyright claims. But what's interesting is that these were a very fun part of my YouTube career, and I really enjoyed doing them. It's just not something I would do again. And like I said, this is the final one. So Once again, thank you all for watching this one, and for watching all my other Baby Einstein reviews and videos just in general. I don't want to say that I'm not grateful, because I really am. And, yeah. It's been an experience, but some experiences have to come to an end. So, with that, Classics by Candlelight 260 is coming out on Wednesday. It's going to be another concert series. Then back to Terror by Candlelight for the rest of the month. Then back to regular. Then Christmas by Candlelight in December. Then in January, who knows? So, with that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.